So if you've ever walked through an area and you've smelled moss, rusted coins, wet concrete, and you thought, yeah, this is my vibe, then have I got a fragrance for you. Today we're going to be reviewing Empty Wishes Well by Toskovat. This is one of those fragrances, if you like petrichor, then this is sort of petrichor perfection. Stay tuned, I'll give you my 2 cents at the end. Alright, welcome back to My 2 Cents. My name is Sean. If you've never been here, welcome, and if you have, then welcome back. Today we're going to be reviewing the fragrance Empty Wishes Well by Toskovat. Toskovat is a Romanian company. If you are not familiar with the brand, it is founded by a man named David Lev Slavisky. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so I'll go here on in and refer to him as David. Sorry, David. So if you're not familiar with the brand, Toskovat is a Romanian company. It is ultra niche. It is ultra hard to find. The point to Toskovat fragrances is that every one of them is tied back to some sort of memory. Some of the memories are good, some of the memories are bad. But most of his fragrances are very unique. They're very inventive. There's one that has the scent of dirty money. There's another one that has the scent of plastic credit cards in it. This one here, however, Empty Wishes Well, is one of the easiest to wear, I think. Now, I sort of have a love-hate relationship with Toskovat. Toskovat is one of those limited distribution houses where they all of a sudden will come out with a stock and then maybe 3 hours, 4 hours later, it will all be sold out. If you try to look up Toskovat right now to go buy this fragrance online, you're not going to find it. It feels like there's sort of manufacturing demand. So I have sort of a love-hate relationship with Toskovat. I think that the perfumes that David creates are inventive. I think they're unique. I think they're fun. But it's one of those ultra niche limited distribution houses. One day you'll go onto their website and they'll have stock, and in 3 hours it'll be gone. You have to basically be looking for it in order to get a bottle of one of these fragrances. So Toskovat isn't one of those brands that's going to sell out in stores. It's going to disappear and then reappear in a place that you've never heard of, or even if you have heard of it, it's going to take 2 plane rides to get there. That said, I do have 7 of these fragrances, and it's soon to be 8. Empty Wishes Well is one of the easiest to wear fragrances, but before we get started in talking about what this fragrance smells like, I do want to point out the packaging for Toskovat. Usually I don't like to talk about the packages of different fragrances, but these actually deserve to be talked about. So each one of them comes in a box that has a drawer like this. Inside the drawer, you're going to see the hourglass sticker on the tissue. There's going to be a extrait de memoire bag here that you can carry your perfume around in. And also inside each one of the boxes is going to be an envelope that says, I remember. As I said, each one of these is tied to a specific memory. Also interesting to point out, on the back of each one of the stickers on the bottle, if you look through here, it says, I remember as well. So as I said, each one of them comes with an envelope, and inside the envelope there's going to be a little bit of prose about what was the inspiration for this fragrance, and then 3 drawings of sort of indeterminate craziness that represent what the fragrance is all about. What's written on the card for Empty Wishes Well is all about making wishes as a child, finding money, and then throwing it into the first well that he could find to make a wish. The 3 cards basically show the passage of time and looking upward from a wishing well. But let's get to the fragrance. So specifically, Empty Wishes Well is supposed to evoke thoughts of a long abandoned wishing well, and I think the wishing well probably signifies or represents the passage of time. You've got damp concrete, you've got oxidized coins, you've got overgrown moss. So I thought this was the perfect t-shirt to wear when reviewing Empty Wishes Well, because there's a well on my t-shirt. Thank God this isn't the one that Toskovat was going to evoke.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Although I wouldn't put it past them. On the prose that came with the fragrance, there's a whole thing about forgotten dreams left behind at the bottom of a stone basin. So the notes on Fragrantica are sort of all over the place, but they all come together with sort of that idea of just a cold stone wishing well, the vegetation that may have grown over it, the wetness that's still there because it's outside, and the metallic notes of the coins that would be at the bottom of the wishing well. Fragrantica lists the notes as galbanum, whetstone, green notes, metallic accord, rust, damp earth, moss, coin, cold mineral facets, concrete, and hints of bitter herbs. Alright, so let's take a look at what this smells like. One of the things I love about the Toskovat fragrances is that they have a fantastic atomizer. Not sure if you can see it. Yeah, this is a good one. The scent profile opens up with this sharp metallic chill, like a coin's been pulled up from dirty rainwater. That's the first thing I get. I get the metallic note right off the bat. But that's coupled by a green bitterness. I think that's probably the galbanum that's also here, and it gives it almost a sharp herbal feel. What you're getting here is sort of a moss and damp earth feel, which gives you sort of a petrichor note. There's almost a sterile industrial note about this. It's clean, it's cold. Gone are floral notes, gone are citrus notes. There's just a real mood sitting here with this one. Despite this being a Toskovat fragrance, this is also surprisingly wearable despite the concept. The concept is meant to evoke something cold, something mysterious, something dark, something dank. But I think this is a fragrance that you could wear pretty much any time. You could wear this in the summer, you could wear this in the winter. I feel like the greenness of this is actually accentuated when the body warms up, so maybe it's even more effective in the summer. This is a fragrance that you could wear to the office, this is a fragrance that you could wear to school, or this is a fragrance that you could wear just while you're alone. It's one of those fragrances that creates its own mood. I would say it has moderate projection, about arm's length. The sillage is intimate, it clings to your clothes, it clings to your skin. It's not going to be one of those fragrances that you're going to go into a room and announce yourself by your fragrance. So this fragrance is an extrait. It will last for about 6 to 8 hours. It's not going to be one of those beast mode fragrances. It's not going to evolve wildly. It's going to be pretty linear. So you're going to get the metallic notes off the beginning and you're going to get them a good 6 hours later as well. The thing about this fragrance is it's almost photorealistic. It almost creates a picture of exactly what the fragrance is going for. When you're smelling this fragrance, you actually think about an old abandoned wishing well. You can think of the stone, you think of the fact that it's wet and there's moss growing on it, there's vegetation growing around it, there's maybe 1 or 2 left around coins that have been forgotten about. So you get the mineral note of the rock, you get the metallic note of the coin, and you get that herbal note with the galbanum in it that brings that vegetation that's growing around the wishing well all together. And I think it works out beautifully. That said, if you're interested in exploring the house of Toskovat, Empty Wishes Well is one of the most wearable fragrances. And if you are interested in a fragrance that conveys a story, you've got the pictures that came with it, you've got the poem or the prose, whatever it is that came with it. This is a good one for you. If you're new to the brand, this is definitely a good one to try out. All right, it's time for me to give you my 2 cents on Toskovat Empty Wishes Well. So as I've said, this fragrance is surprisingly wearable. I definitely recommend picking this one up if you're interested in exploring the house of Toskovat. It blends artistry with surprising wearability. So the whole fragrance is really gritty. You've got wet stone, you've got wet rock, you've got metallic notes, you've got moss, you've got rust, but it's oddly comforting. What brought you to this video today on YouTube was probably a search for Toskovat fragrances. And if you're new to the house, this is definitely one to pick up. It's not overly expensive. I think it was under $200 for this one. This is an extrait de parfum. As I said, it's pretty strong, but it's not going to knock everybody out in the room, but people will definitely smell it around you. And for Toskovat, I think that's exactly what he's going for. David isn't looking to try and make a fragrance here that's going to make you feel sexy. He's not going to make a fragrance that's going to make you feel cool. What he's trying to do is he's trying to make you feel like you're part of someone else's memory. And I think that with Empty Wishes Well, that's done very well. Thanks for watching. If you like no fluff fragrance reviews and you're not already subscribed, I definitely ask you, please, please, please hit the subscribe button. If you liked this fragrance, definitely give this a thumbs up. And if you like Toskovat or you want to know more about this fragrance, definitely leave me a comment. I like interacting with everyone. Tell me what your favorite Toskovat fragrances are. I have 6 more behind me, 1 more on the way, and I'd be interested to hear what you'd like to see a review of. Once again, thanks for watching. My name's Sean. This has been my 2 cents, and we'll see you next episode.